What's up, guys? I'm back and we're in a different location. As you may notice, today I'm in the kitchen and we're going to be doing Jamaican Curry Chicken, so stay tuned. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and read off the ingredients. I'll list them down in the description below in case anybody is interested, but in the meantime, what you need is a large pot with a lid, a paring knife, sharp cutting knife, plastic cutting board. You don't want to use wood because wood holds bacteria, obviously. You need a long handle spoon and one mixing bowl. And as far as ingredients, the ingredients that I'm going to give you will feed a total of about 5 people, so you can adjust this as you need to if you want to feed more or less. And again, this is ingredients for 5, so you need a whole chicken, preferably 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You need a half medium onion, 3 tablespoons of Goya Seasoning, and this can be substituted with seasoning salt. 2 tablespoons of Jamaican Curry Powder. Now, while this recipe is for Jamaican Curry Chicken, I am making what I call just curry chicken. I'm using curry powder instead of Jamaican Curry Powder. The difference is Jamaican Curry Powder has a slight kick, and I'm not really a fan of super spicy foods, plus we have kids in the house, so just using regular curry powder. You also want to use a clove of fresh garlic, 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, a lime or a half a cup of vinegar, 2 stems of fresh thyme, 2 bell peppers. You can use a half a green, a half a red, or you can use a couple sweet peppers if you want, just to give it different, colors, a little bit of variety and flavor. You also want to use 3 potatoes and 2 cups of white rice. And all of that's going to come together at the end, but in the meantime, let's go over the steps to get started. Okay, right here in front of us are some of the ingredients that we're going to be using. The first thing you want to do is wash your hands. Anytime you're dealing with this, anytime you're going back and forth, you want to make sure you wash your hands to avoid cross-contamination. After you've done that, and I've already done that before I started recording here, first thing you want to do after that is take a half cup of vinegar, and you want to pour this into the sink or wherever you're going to use to wash your chicken. In this case, I've cleaned off one of the sinks in our kitchen and we're going to use that. So now that we've washed everything off and we've got the meat back over here, what we're going to do now is cube it up. We're going to take each one of these pieces of meat and cut it into cubes and then put it into our mixing bowl. Alright, so as you can see here, we just finished chopping up the chicken. Well, actually I have 5 chicken thighs. These are all cut up, and in the directions earlier I was telling you that you can cube this. I actually cheated. I took a pair of kitchen shears and just cut them up into a bunch of bite-sized pieces. That's what you want. As everybody's eating, you want everybody to get enough and for it to be a small size to eat, because there's also going to be potatoes and rice and peppers and all of this. So next thing you want to do is you want to get your potatoes, your bell peppers, your onions, and all of that. Cube them up and cut them up and mix them into the bowl with your chicken. Once you're done with all of that, you're going to get your thyme and put that in there as well. Now, I'm not going to be using thyme today. I'm going to be using basil, just trying something a little different. But I'll show you what this looks like once I get everything mixed up. So I'll be right back in a second. So at this point, you can see we've got the potatoes cubed up. We've also got 5 chicken thighs cut up, as well as bell peppers. We've got some garlic. We've got basil in there. We've got bell peppers. We've got a lot of different things going on in here right now. But next, what we want to do is we want to start adding some adobe as well as curry powder. Now, if you remember in the instructions when I was reading it off earlier, I told you that you need 3 tablespoons of Goya Seasoning and 2 tablespoons of either Jamaican Curry Powder or curry powder. Now, one thing I do have to remind you of, this is curry powder here, and you want to be careful about using this because whatever meat that it touches, it's going to turn it this color. So you don't want to get this all over your hands and everything. I mean, get you like a little mixing spoon or something and pour it in here. So this is what it looks like. But first we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 3 tablespoons of Goya seasoning. Actually, I had the wrong measuring spoon up here. We're going to put tablespoon, not cups. So that black cup that I had up here before was a little too large. So we need 3 of these, 3 scoops of Goya seasoning, which we're going to put in here right now. Rather than wasting time trying to pour it through the sifter on the top, I just go ahead and pour it straight into the spoon. We got 1. There's your 3 tablespoons of Goya seasoning. Next, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of curry powder. Now while we're doing this, some of you may wonder, where in the world did I get this recipe from? I actually got this recipe about 7 years ago. Being a veteran, about 7 years ago, I had a job where I was teaching other soldiers that came into the military the job that I did while I was in the military. And before I was able to instruct, we all had to take an instructor course. And one of the students in there was a soldier from Guyana, and this was his block of instruction that he taught on how to make Jamaican curry chicken. And at the end of his block of instruction, everybody in the class took his lesson plan and made copies of it. And like I said, I've had it for about 7 years. Don't make it a whole lot, but whenever I do, the family seems to like it. I like it, so share it all with you. Alright, so that was our 2 tablespoons of Jamaican curry powder. So now we want to move on to our next step. Now that we've got all of this in the bowl, you want to get you a nice size mixing spoon and mix all of this up. Because we're going to leave this out to marinate for about 10 minutes once we get it all mixed up. And what you want is the Goya seasoning and the curry powder to get completely marinated into all of this food, not just the potatoes on the top, but you want it especially to get on the meat and to get marinated in with the peppers and everything. So what you want to do is you want to stir this up and allow it to sit for 10 minutes. Alright, so this is what it should look like when you got it all stirred up here. You can see everything's a nice shade of yellow, taking on the color of that curry powder. And we've got everything in here except for the rice. The rice is going to come later on. Right now we're going to have this just sit and marinate. And while it's marinating over the course of 10 minutes, what we're going to go ahead and do is get the stove heated up. So you want to make sure you have a pot big enough, because once this starts cooking, once you pour it in there, there's a lot more than it appears. So you want to make sure that you've got enough for it to rise up, as well as with the heat and everything, and that it doesn't overflow. Alright, and what we're going to need is 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. If you use a little bit more, that's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. You basically want to use this to help it create its own broth, as well as to keep it from sticking to the pan. And that's why you're going to spend the majority of the time while this is cooking. You're going to spend time every so often coming back to stir it up to make sure that it doesn't stick. So we're going to go ahead and turn the oven on low here, and we'll just leave this sit and let it warm up. Alright, so this has been cooking here for about a little over 30 minutes, and you can see what it looks like here. You can also see what I mean by it kind of developed its own gravy in here. So now what we're going to do is add the rice and then let it cook for the final 5 to 7 minutes, and it'll be done. So what you need is 2 cups of rice. And that is actually going to soak up pretty much all of the moisture that you have in here. Alright, Alright, so I'm using a half cup scoop here. So you're going to do 4 scoops to equal 2 cups. And like I said, this is all going to cook in together. So we're going to set this timer back for about 5 minutes, let it go. And the next time we see this, it'll be ready to pour into a bowl. So I will see you guys then. Alright, so this is it. This is what your finished product looks like. And this is it, fresh out of the bowl. I don't know if this is coming on camera or not, but it is steaming hot here. You can see your peppers in there. You can see your chicken as well as your rice. And so that's it, guys. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Please do hit the like button, share this video with others, and please do subscribe. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.